One of the most frustrating things about growing older is that we often lose self-confidence. With younger men and their constant drive for fitness coming off age, older men often accept that they're no longer attractive when the opposite is actually true. You see, there is something quite respectable about older men. Older men tend to have life experience, which is closely linked to maturity. This means that these men often carry themselves quite differently, and they tend to focus more on the important issues in life. Since women find these attractive young men as usually being childish and insecure in themselves, they tend to favor some of the older men. Today, we explore this fascinating phenomenon and look at how you might be misguided by society into thinking you're not attractive, when in fact, you actually are. What makes an older man attractive? To better understand exactly what it is that makes older men attractive, you'll need to understand a little bit more about female desires. It's often the perception of women, which makes a man more attractive in the dating world than he actually is. You see, women have numerous primal needs. Whilst one of these is protection, and to be absolutely dominated by their partner, it is not the only one. One of the main reasons why younger men often do so well with women is because they have an exceptionally high drive in life, and it is this drive that makes them seem like people who focus on taking action for the most part. On the other side of the aisle, older men are not as eager to make moves in life, and they often wait a little longer to see if something's worth taking a risk on. This cautious behavior is not as attractive to women as riskier behavior might be when you compare the two. However, what makes an older man seem more attractive are some of the traits that are developed as we grow older. One of these is the element of patience and not reacting. Whilst young men tend to react immediately, older men understand that there's no need to act impulsively, and this often grounds women, and they notice this patience. The second is the fact that older men are a little more established in life. Since they tend to focus more on improving their lives and social circumstances, it's often this level of silent drive that yields the best long-term results, and women tend to notice this. Since most women crave stability and proper routine in life built around improving themselves and their lives, they become attractive due to shifting their focus. But there's one single element that often makes older men far more attractive. You see, as men grow up, they don't prioritize women as much. Younger men often live under the notion that they have to sacrifice a lot of themselves if they're to achieve actual value in life and if they're able to make sure that she's happy. Older men prefer to focus on what would yield them incredible results in life, which means their focus is not as much on women, but rather on actually moving forward in life. This lack of investment is quite attractive to women, and they will naturally gravitate and chase what they cannot have. But what are the clear signs that women label you as an attractive older man? Let's find out. Number 1. Connective eye contact. One of the most powerful signs that you are attractive is actually something as simple as basic eye contact. You see, we generally spend a little more time staring at what we like. You can trace this back to when you go shopping and you found something you like. Once you spot this, you'll constantly want to look at it. This is the same in life when a woman finds you attractive. Her eyes will often reveal it all, and you notice that she stares at you a little longer as a way of signaling that she's checking you out. You see, women notoriously avoid eye contact due to how personal it might often seem and the intensity of it. When she's making eye contact with you, and she notices you staring back at her, she might also go into a different state of mind. You see, when she finds you attractive, she'll often be the first person to break this eye contact by staring down and looking away. This is what you call a sign of submission, and in many cases, it shows she's interested. Additionally, when you talk to her, she might hold eye contact for a short while, but eventually, she'll break this in a submissive way. To better notice this, we recommend going up and talking to her. You should notice the next sign if she does find you rather attractive or somewhat interesting. Number 2. The power of a smile. As part of the first one, you should also understand the importance of a smile. You see, scientists have figured out that when two people like each other and make eye contact, they often allow a slight smile to appear as well. This smile is accompanied by a massive release of dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone. You see, if a woman's attracted to you, she's more than likely to let out such a smile, and this will show you that her mind is desiring this release of dopamine. What you can take from this is that you are the main cause of this sudden rush of dopamine to her mind. Another thing you'll notice that goes hand in hand with smiling is the fact that she'll laugh at your jokes regardless of how mind-numbing they tend to be. You see, when we like someone, they naturally occupy a ton of our attention. It's this high level of attention that makes someone we like to seem like it's authentic. One of the best ways to gauge this is to allow her to react when you're telling jokes and compare her reaction to those around you. If you're not fond of telling jokes, you can simply compare the attention span she has in your conversations to that of the people around you. The more attention she gives you, the more you'll understand that she's in fact attracted to you. Women often use subtlety as a way of showing that they like a man. The main reason for this often stems from personal issues, like fear of rejection. Number 3. Attention to detail. One of the most powerful signs of attraction from women is actually quite simple if you think about it. You see, when a woman or any other person likes you, you'll notice that they pay a lot of attention to detail. It might seem like someone's paying even more attention to your life than you are. You see, when a woman likes you, she'll remember everything, and she'll then try to cross-reference this with other information to figure out if you're actually telling the truth. You might notice that she brings up things you might have accidentally said, or even some of the conversations that you might have forgotten about as well. This attention to detail occupies a lot of mental capacity, and it means that she's choosing to focus on this and your words instead of other real-world matters. Conversations should also become more detailed, and she will actually try to contribute to things in your life. However, to drive this point home, you'll likely find that she also starts giving you advice. Now, this doesn't mean that she's trying to tell you how you should go about living your life. In fact, it basically means that she wants to ensure that you make the best possible decisions about various things. On the other hand, if she doesn't like or care for you, she will not contribute to anything in your life. In fact, she'll just be happy that you're around. It's also a sign of where she is mentally if she does or does not contribute to some of the conversations about your life. In summary, this is one of the most important points about attraction, and the more she's attracted to you, the more attention to detail she will pay. If she adds some contributions to actually make your life better, it's perhaps one of the best signs of attraction. Number 4. She talks about herself in your future life. This one might seem a little complicated, but it's also one of the most important aspects of attraction that should give you a better indication of whether or not she likes you. You see, women are quite imaginative, and their minds are far more likely to shift in the direction of the future when they meet someone they like. What you'll notice is that she often talks or even asks you questions about the future, but she'll always portray you and herself as the main characters in this story. In general, women tend to avoid these kinds of conversations as they often allow for the establishment of some close connection between the two of you. But if she truly likes a man, she'll open up a bit more about her own future as well. What you're looking to establish is if her conversations are centered around you and if you remain the main protagonist in many of these stories. Women tend to love romantic novels, and she will already be playing this over and over in her mind, which is one of the best signs of overall attraction. Number 5. You become a beacon of trust. One of the big issues with modern society is the fact that trust is one of the hardest things to come by. You see, women have realized that most men are only looking for one thing, and it's this single thing that can often be quite frustrating and daunting for others to deal with. Since women know that men will arguably be trying to change the narrative of a situation to make them seem important, they often stay away from asking men for their advice. Well, this is until they like you and want you to play an important role in their lives. You see, if she likes you as an older man, she obviously trusts you and believes that you can play a somewhat influential role in her life. This means that when things don't go right, she'll automatically turn to you for some advice. But even if she has things already figured out, she'll still try to ask you for advice as a way of showing that she wants to bring you into her life. Yes, women tend to want a man to play an active role in her life if she is to show him that she likes him. This also serves as another test she often throws your way. You see, she might ask you for advice on something she already has a solution for, just to see what kind of advice you give out. What she's trying to see is if you have her best interests at heart. But that's a video for another day. The fact of the matter is that whenever she chooses to trust you, she definitely has some incredible feelings for you and values your opinion. Women are far more likely to choose the adult way of life when they like someone as a way of trying to show their own maturity. Now, you have to be careful not to overplay your hand and show that you care more about her than she cares about herself. This is often when women tend to lose some respect for the man and would rather choose to stay away. Number 6. She starts playing games. One thing you need to understand is that just because you're mature and want to focus on the future and building your life, this doesn't mean that women will stop testing you. In fact, she's more likely to test to ensure that you're not willing to compromise on your own beliefs and your own goals. You see, women notice that a man is on his purpose, and it's often this relentless drive to achieve something or build something concrete for the future that makes women fall in love with the guy. However, the moment he realizes that she does find him attractive, she can quickly default into testing him to figure out if he's the type of guy who could stand on his own. She might try to disrupt your plans or even just do something as simple as not responding to your text messages. The reason she's doing this is to see if you're willing to continue chasing your goals and dreams, which tends to show her who you are. The big problem with many men is that they simply realize she likes him and they immediately stop focusing on their goals, whilst rather turning toward her and her issues. This is the reason why women are responsible for many men often falling into depression. Ideally, you want her to show all the previous signs, but continue to control and dominate the relationship. This shows that you value yourself and your own goals above those of her goals, which tends to make him even more attractive in her eyes. Number 7. She invites you into her personal life. The last one is the most important. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you've probably noticed that women rarely allow men into their personal lives, especially as they grow older and have more to hide. You see, she's afraid of the judgment to be passed on you and her from her friends or family, and this means that she feels more comfortable when you're out with your friends, and she can comfortably slot into the conversations without any real troubles. However, when a woman is allowing you into her social circle and she's willing to make a couple of compromises in order for her to actually deal with some weakness, you should be golden, and you should notice that the attraction levels are high enough. Next, you'll be invited to meet her friends and family, and since humans are naturally more judgmental, you must try to win over the favor of these friends. Once you do, you'll be the most attractive and likable person in her life, and this will automatically make you more attractive to her. Women are extremely complicated, but because you are aging, you might be losing some self-confidence and often be more self-conscious. However, women love older men, and as long as you are progressing in life, you should have some success with women. But seduction is just as important, and we recommend you watch the next video to understand why.